Back in August of 2022, I was given an old plywood canoe by one of the Parks and Wildlife staff at Yanchep National Park. It had been used a decade previous and left to rot. So I brought it home and I began to rip out the rot. It had old strips of fiberglass that needed to be pulled off. The resin needed to be sanded back as much as you can sand that back. I pulled off the gunnels, the plywood decks. They all needed to be discarded. I had better looking plans for those bits. The seats needed throwing out and being redesigned and lowered, and my shed underwent an upgrade over this 2.5 years. I patched, scraped, sanded, just getting the hull smooth and ready for fiberglassing. Endless hours, day and night, bogging, sanding, scraping. I even used some of the plans from my old canoe, Bonnie Doon, to know what I was actually meant to be doing in some of the areas. The bow and the stern, the end stems, were falling apart, just not really well put together. And so I found this rope. It's fiberglass rope, and it actually comes from Bunnings, and it's for stuffing around the door of the fireplace in your glass-fronted, indoor fireplaces. It doesn't burn because obviously there's glass. But I've soaked it in resin and shoved it up inside the stem of the canoe. Have a look at this. You can see that it's about a less than a 1 metre length piece, but it goes right up inside there. Don't know whether you can get that focusing, but it's you can see it in there. But that should give it some integrity, as it will hold those two sheets together from that side and that side. Well, I've been sanding out the inside of it. One of the problems is that I keep clipping the little pins, little wires that hold it all together, and every time I nick one, it weakens the hull even more, like that. So I really need to fiberglass the outside of it to keep it all together before really sanding properly. One of the things that I decided to do in fixing these rotten panels was just to go and buy some plywood of the same thickness. I've put it in here. It's not exactly the same. In fact, the grain runs the opposite direction. But I'm not so bothered because I've decided to fiberglass it with a colour. So the resin will have colour in it and you won't actually see any of this external grain. It was quite a difficult task to fit this panel in here. In the end, I decided to drill lots of little holes in it and just wire it into place, so I could then glue it into place with some little patch bits of plywood in the back. So and the top bit where my jigsaw shattered the edges of the ply, that will be covered by the gunnels. So this is an example of the gunnel that I built for my canoe, and that is what will go right the way along the edge here. Well, it's come time to actually fiberglass the canoe. Here we go. I've watched the video, I'm about to read the book. The most terrifying element in making or restoring a canoe is in the fiberglassing. Resin goes off in your hand, you can feel it getting warmer, the fiberglass kept slipping on the boat. The colour of the resin didn't really impress me one little bit, which is why I repainted the whole thing, but we did our best. The most satisfying element was hand carving this thwart. Absolutely beautiful. To gain some extra inspiration in the middle of this project, we headed to Hobart. A group of friends and family did some hiking, some tourism, and of course we couldn't resist a visit to the wooden boat shop. Ross gained so much inspiration that this is his next project. Well, we're back at the canoe again after about a year off, and I've just sprayed it. So I've given it a full two-part undercoat, and then I'll do the two-part overcoat in a grey. But it's the first time I've ever sprayed before. It seemed to go all right. A couple of little runs, but kind of pretty happy with the outcome there. The final coat, or so I thought it was, turned out crap. The paint didn't thin using the right spray thinner, and it came out all speckled and uneven and kind of funky. So I gave up and moved towards the fun woodworking stuff, the trim. I shaped and fitted the gunnels and the decks. And the decks had a nice strip of American oak running down the middle of it, and along the side I used the same American oak to plug the little holes. So I was pretty stoked with the way all that turned out. One deck didn't work out quite good enough, but I fixed it. A bit of an update on the canoe. It's now the 1st of February 2025. It's been going for about 2 years. Look, you've seen some photos of the paint job under there. It didn't turn out well. The colour's great, but not so happy. We'll get back to that later. But what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just putting on the outwall, the outer gunnel, using resin, fiberglass resin for it. It is coloured from that original bodgy green paint job that I did, but you're not going to see it. Once I clean it up, it'll be good. You might see a little green band of coloured resin in the top of the gunnels, that's all. Well, things are moving forward fairly quickly now that I've got a shed full of good gear. I've built a little jig here for the seats, and you can see the first two little sections of the seat just tucked in there. I've got to build two more sections to build this the rear seat, and then I'll move to the front seats. So it's it's amazing what more you can do when you have a mighty powerful little unit like that. The rear deck had problems fitting, and we had a bit of an issue, but nothing that some resin won't cover. Not as happy with this one as the other one, but it'll look good once it's all wrapped up and finished. Well, we're ready to put the webbing onto the seats and make them look pretty. Got a bit dusty while I was putting all that on, but seemed to work all right. Again, fiberglassing was a terrifying act. Bubbles, uneven surface, what a nightmare. Well, I've done a coat of varnish in there. Hanging the seats and securing the thwart under the gunnel was a bit more challenging than first expected, but my old canoe building book helped here a lot. I talked the canoe's newly agreed upon adoptive parent Ross into buying some paint and some other bits and pieces. So I flipped the boat and started back on the outside hull all over again. This time I would use a roller. Quick tip, use quality rollers for this job. She's named Yandjep, the Aboriginal word for Yanchep, where I found her. It means bulrushes. Well, there it is, Yandjep, the bulrushes. I'm just doing the final trim and a couple of little touches of paint, one just in there that need doing, but really it's looking lovely. I've given it a bit of a dust, and paint job's come up okay. I wouldn't give myself a 10 out of 10 on the paint job, but there it is, all looking very pretty. Well, this is it, Yandjep finally on the water, first trial, and it's still floating. We are
so far successful.
So far successful. Yeah, we are on the water.